Have you ever wondered how Harry Styles, Silk Sonic, and The Weeknd are getting a vintage vocal tone while still getting that modern hi-fi feel? Well, there are three main tricks and techniques that they use to get their vocals to sound the way they do, and I'm going to show you those three today. But you're going to want to stick around to the end of this video, because at the end of this video, I'm going to show you a complicated trick that you're definitely not going to want to miss out if you want to make your music stand out. Technique number one is the Slapback Delay. The easiest way to create this effect is by creating an effects bus. So find the vocal that you want to create this effect on and create an effects bus. I've already created it here and I've called it Vintage Effects. And here we want to throw on a delay plugin. It doesn't matter what delay plugin you use. I like to use Repeater, and it's in the Slate All Access Pass. And the whole concept of this is we want a low feedback amount, like around maybe 25%. We want to turn the delay time to like 16th or maybe even 32nd, depending on the tempo of the song, the speed of the song, and the feel of the delay. And then we're going to want to roll off a little bit of the low end and roll off a little bit of the high end. I like to turn the color up just a touch. And then we are going to turn on the analog button here. I just like the way it sounds. It's a very subtle amount. And then we're going to blend this in with our main vocal. So without the effect, our vocal sounds like this.
I'm a saint of fallen angels.
And then we're going to blend it in.
I'm a saint of fallen angels.
That is just a really nice tone. It's kind of slapping back on the consonants and sibilances and stuff like that in that vocal and giving it that like vintage feel. Now, I will say you can increase the speed here and have a 1/32 note, and it'll really have a quick, fast slapback delay sound.
I'm a saint of fallen angels.
Which can work, but I like the 16th note better. Now up here, there is a spread option, which is 0, A, and B. 0 is all mono. And I've noticed that a lot of these vocal effects that they're doing are pretty much mono. And that can work. I prefer to have a stereo sound, especially for this specific song. So here's what it sounds like in mono.
I'm a saint of fallen angels.
And here's what it sounds like with a bit of spread on it.
I'm a saint of fallen angels.
I just think it works way better in the context of the mix.
I'm a saint of fallen angels.
By the way, a link to this song will be in the description below. This is a band called Chasing Mallory. They are incredible. You're definitely going to want to check them out. The next trick I want to show you is the short decay reverb trick, which is similar to the slapback delay, but this creates a bit of a different sound. This is found in a lot of Silk Sonic's music, and Late Night Talking by Harry Styles is another good example of this specific type of sound. And what we want to do is on the same vocal bus that I've called Vintage Effects, I am turning off the delay for now, and I want to add a reverb plugin on the bus. And then we want our reverb time to be pretty low.
I'm a saint of fallen angels. I'm a saint of...
I really want to roll off the low end because I don't want a lot of that like pumping going on inside the vocal itself, and it'll kind of muddy up the mix. So I want to roll off a bit of that low end there.
I'm a saint of fallen angels.
It's very, very short, and we can actually go even shorter if we wanted to choose a different type of reverb. I do like the way it sounds with the plate, but let's just say for the sake of this video, we wanted to use a room reverb. And this is just the stock room reverb inside of Studio One.
I'm a saint of fallen angels. I'm a saint of fallen angels.
And now this is what that sounds like.
I'm a saint of fallen...
See how it really just kind of like stops pretty quickly? We can have a little bit of decay to go off of that there.
I'm a saint of fallen angels.
And then same thing with the slapback delay. We can just bring that in alongside our main vocal.
I'm a saint of fallen angels. I'm a saint of fallen angels.
And then in the context of the mix,
I'm a saint of fallen angels.
just kind of gives it a little bit of depth in that vocal. Now this is sounding pretty good already, but like I said at the beginning of the video, there is a complicated little trick that you can use to actually clean this up even more. So if you take our first two techniques and blend them together, so we have the delay, we'll put that maybe at like a 50-60%. And then it's going into the room reverb after that.
I'm a saint of fallen angels.
Now that's sounding pretty good. Both of them together are actually creating a decent amount of depth and width to this vocal. But there's a bit of an issue with the higher frequencies in this vocal, and it's starting to fight with the reverb and delay. but I really like the way the Reverb Delay sounds, especially when he quits singing and there's just that short tail coming off. That's where a dynamic EQ comes in. Now we could just turn down the high frequencies of this reverb entirely, and that'll sound like this.
I'm a saint of fallen angels.
So it cleans it up a lot, but it's causing it to sound a bit muddy, and that's not what I'm looking for. So I want to roll off a little bit of the low end down here, just so that way we can get rid of some of that low frequencies that don't matter. But for the high frequency, I want to turn on the dynamic mode, and I only want to affect the reverb and delay when the vocal is singing. That way, when the vocalist has stopped singing, the tail actually has a decent amount of high end to it. So we're going to sidechain this specific EQ plugin to the main vocal. Then we're going to turn down the threshold and turn down the range. And I'm going to bring the range probably like -20. I want to be pretty aggressive with this to prove a point here. So now every time the vocalist sings, it is turning down the high frequencies just for the reverb alone. And then when he stops, the high frequencies will come back up just to add that tail on the back end.
I'm a saint of fallen angels.
So notice how when he stops singing, the high frequencies come back, but while he's singing, they are ducking out of the way and making room for that vocal.
I'm a saint of fallen.
Now let's listen to it in the context of the mix.
I'm a saint of fallen angels. I know what you have not done.
Now, all of these tricks are not going to help you if you don't get a great sound at the source, and I want to help you out with that. I have a free workshop. It's about 45 minutes long, and I dive into how to get incredible sounding vocals anywhere in your house, even if you don't have acoustic treatment. So click the link down in the description below to watch that workshop. It is completely free. It is my gift to you. Now, I know you're going to want to watch this video here because I'm not recommending it. YouTube is, and YouTube thinks that you're going to love this video for my channel. So click there, and I'll see you over there. Now, as always, go create.